Hey everybody, and welcome to Hex Token Channel. Your host Superman in the house. Hope you guys are doing well. We're gonna have a lot of fun today for sure. I'm sure of it. Are you sure that we're sure? I'm sure. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna look at Pulsechain launch date, community poll results. I put that community poll out yesterday, so we're gonna check that out, and we're gonna go through all the Pulsechain news that's out and about. It's quite a bit. I think we're gonna go through, and then we're gonna get into the second half of the live stream, which is market prices, because they've been moving up and down depending on where you are. Obviously, a cheaper price for Hex to get in, pick up more Hex. So we'll talk about that too. Let's see who's in the chat though. See who's arrived. Lies beneath. Hello, how are you today? Very, very good. And of course, the ultimate strategy, the Richard Hart Golden Crypto, as I say, Hex, EHEX, PLS, PLSX, and incentive for the win, 100%. We've got Kristen in there as well. Hi, Kristen. Good to see you. We've got Brian, one of our two community leaders, doing an awesome job as always, Brian. Sup, folks? Good to see Brian in the house. Agenda as well. Greetings, Hex people. Good to see Agenda. Who else has jumped here? Wookie, one of our community mods. It's time to blast off, says Jetty. It is. It's getting there. So we must be at the. It must be a wet dress rehearsal. That's probably where we're at this stage. What else there? Blobfish King's jumped in the house. Good to see Blobfish King. Hex Token channel member represent. Who else is here? We got Mike in the house. Well, what's up? What's up, Hex Token? Good to see you, Mike. Joey Torres as well. Heidi, hi. Good to see you, Joey. And Harry Williams. Yo, Pulse is boss. It is looking good. We're going to talk all about Pulsechain to kick off our first half of the live stream. So Pulsechain, Pulse gains. It's interesting. You got people super bullish, people super bearish. It's hilarious. And of course, the market will decide. The market will decide. Brennan's in the house there. I've set limit orders at LP wall. Nice one, Brennan. You're like a boss on there. I yesterday I was going to do a lot more stuff on Pulsex playing around, so I might do that today. See how I get on. I've only got 6 Pulse in my wallet on V4, but I'm waiting for the bridge to open up, Brennan, because I was going to bridge in a whole ton of dye so I can go shopping. That's what I was going to do. Humberto says, yo, evening, folks. Cheers from sunny Miami. Good to see Humberto. And, of course, the Hex cruise is going out of sunny Miami, as if I remember rightly. Well, they got the Enchantment of the Seas and everything, all those other big super cruise boats out there. I'm not sure how big the Hex cruise boat is. We've got they're probably somewhere in around 200 people or something. That's what I understand. We got Archipelago in the house there. Hi, all. Good to see Archipelago. And Brendan says, "Oh, I'm talking about Hex Superman, not testing." Oh, right, Brendan. Sorry, wires crossed. Hashtag rug pull. Tom Boy says, "Can somebody send PLS to if you need Hex token?" What's the Addy again? I did post it. I'll probably post it later on, Tom Boss. I'll post it when we get up to Pulsex, because I was going to cover Pulsex, and you can do that there. But what was I going to say? Yeah. This is a play wallet, you see, so I don't interact with any real addresses. They're all just play addresses that I'm using. Brennan's laughing out loud. Yeah, that's the way to pump the bags, Brennan. Get someone to send you some Pulse. That's probably the way to do it. But hashtag, there's not a 2-for-1 deal. There's no 2-for-1 deal. Matt's in the house there. Hey, Matt, let's go. 100%. Let's go, Matt. I like the attitude. And, of course, AZ, spent a lot of time in Christchurch on my way to Antarctic for quite a few years. Loved it. Wow, Antarctica, man. It's going to be cold down there, that's for sure. Not many people have been down to Antarctica, so you're pretty special there, that's for sure. Christchurch, yeah. Christchurch, they used to say, was the most English city outside of England, but then, of course, they had the earthquakes, and a lot of the old English buildings fell down. I'm not sure how many are left, but there's probably a small percentage. A lot of the old brick buildings fell down. Beautiful, gorgeous city. And, of course, they had the Christchurch Cathedral. I actually went in the Christchurch Cathedral, must have been not too long, maybe a year before the earthquakes, and I think it was 2011, was it 2012, 2011, somewhere like that. And what happened? It was the steeple fell down. I went into the steeple. Steeple is where a certain amount of choir boys go up. It's like ancient. It feels ancient when you go in there. Feels like an old English place, because it is pretty old. It was, but it fell down, of course. I'm not sure what's happened to the state of that. I think they're going to try and repair it. But of course, they lost the old ancient steeple part. But it felt like you were in Hogwarts or something, like Harry Potter. Felt like you were in one of these sort of ancient-y type of lofts, or Victorian lofts, let's put it like that. Thanks for your consistency and level-headed streaming. Hey, you're welcome, PSI. Big shout out. Thank you very much. Appreciate the alpha that PSI has been dropping all the time. Been really nice. Let's get into it, folks. Pulsechain. Now, Pulsechain yesterday, the website hadn't been updated to V3 with the title at least, but now it's got V4 on there. So that's the first update for the show. Is the V4 is on there. It's nice to get the communications solid. A lot of the links went up first before the website and before Richard Hart came out. So it was sort of a little bit backward ended, but hey, we're here to try and keep it real. So there we are. Pulsechain Testnet V4 is out now. It's got all the links. Now the link to this is in the video description, pulsechain.com, if you want to play around. It's got all the links there: the Explorer, the Faucet, the staking, the bridging, PulseX, etc. It's got the network address if you want to manually add it, but you can go to the Explorer and add that in, automatically. Now, I think this Explorer goes to the validator one, which is the beacon one. Yeah, it's not the best one. They should probably have the other Explorer. So they should have the Block Scout Explorer linking there. They used to have that. I'm pretty sure that used to be the Black Scout one. So yeah, it's probably the only thing they need to update there. The launchpad, if you're after the launchpad, it's down here. Become a validator. That's a launchpad, launch validator. If you want to become one of those, that's the launchpad there. So special delivery. Hey, I've got special delivery. Special delivery, my copy. Yay! Thank you very much to the person delivering. So that's pretty cool. Got special delivery. Oh wow, that's great. That's fantastic. Boy, it's pretty awesome. Premium copy. It's the first time I've had one delivered on live stream. Isn't that cool? I'm pretty sure it's the first time. All right, so Blobfish King says I climbed the Christchurch steeple in 2001. Loved it, says Blobfish King. Nice, man. So you know what I'm talking about. Blobfish King knows what I'm talking about with the experience in there. Actually, it's only a room up in the steeple, but it feels like you're in Hogwarts or something, and it's got that mystique about it, and it really is quite cool. Unfortunately, it fell down, and not sure what's happening with that. I try to contribute to this amazing community if I can. Very small contribution, says PSI. Appreciate that. Shanghai is confirmed too, right? Says PSI. No, we don't know what's happening in that space. It looks like it's going to be upgradable, is the way it looks looking at the moment. PSI. Can I get a special delivery copy? Says Brennan. I don't know, but this copy is fantastic. It's a double shot. Yeah, there we are. Normally I get the ones from the shop. You guys know that. But that there is especially homemade, so pretty nice. All right, let's move on. So that is the links there, and let's jump over to let's go have a quick look at the validator returns at the moment. Remember, they started off at 35% when they did. So the V4 was all about upgrading the returns for the validators, the inflation, and of course when it first launched, it was at 35% APR, annual percentage return. It's like a flat interest rate. Estimation. Now, obviously, as the more validators come in, then more sharing in the block rewards, right? So the more getting involved with the fees and the uncle returns. So more people rotate through the blocks, through the slots. You know how they rotate 128 committee. It's all rotating through, and it gives you kind of an estimate of what you're going to earn. Now that's gone down to 21.8%. So that's great news. And why is that great news? Is because that means there's more validators, right? So that's fantastic. And a lot of them are not in the team. So that's great, which just brings up that diversification across the world with validators firming up the blockchain, which is great. So we start off at 4,096. As you guys know, for every epoch, you have 32 slots. Every slot needs 128 validators in the committee. One of them is a proposer and confirms the block. And so if you have 32 times 128, 32 slots times 128 validators, that's 4,096, kind of your minimum you need to kick the chain off. And then above that, you have people just hopefully come on and help validate. So pretty cool. Now, we know that Gamma from the Pulsechain team is doing a lot of stuff around education and helping people as well. We're going to talk about Gamma coming up soon, one of the Pulsechain team members specializing in validating in particular, and probably quite a few other things there. So yeah, really cool, 21.8%, nice. And of course, on the V3, I'm pretty sure that was around 0.2% or something like that, if I remember rightly. So that is kind of the cool stuff there with the updates. We're going to get into the online updates with the team. So the team is logging in for work pretty regular there. 21st of April, we got 3 commas. Brett's in there, April 21st. Gamma's there, 21st. Richard Hart logged in on 21st. Interesting. Richard Hart in there on the 21st. That's kind of cool. And we got the Space Ghost in there the 21st. And of course, we've got SJB at the bottom there on the 21st as well. So they're logging in and working pretty hard. And that might play into our community poll results. So just think about that. That's why we keep looking at these, just to see, how engaged the team on the working in the Pulsechain GitLab. We don't know exactly what they're doing generally unless we look at the activity and see any uploads, any pushes and stuff like that. But it does give a nice idea of sort of general activity in the team. We got on the PulseX, we got 3 commas on the 21st, Agris on the 21st, Brett Paulson on the 21st, Heinz on the 21st. We got Lucas Carlson on the 21st, Richard Hart on the 21st. So it's looking pretty good, eh? It's looking pretty good. Lots of activity going. Nice. We like it. And of course, we're waiting for PulseX Bridge in particular to come out. So that's kind of where we're up there. So those are the updates. Now let's go into the individual developers on Twitter, because they've recently been really engaged, which is positive, man. That's like a super bullish sign. Before that, they're all pretty quiet, pretty hush-hush, making a comment here, maybe making a comment there. But now they're making a comment just about everywhere, which is kind of cool. That's really confidence building. So we're going to go through Bretep first of all. 23 hours ago, he was just responding to Hodl Dog. So Hodl Dog, obviously one of the biggest influencers in our space. Also acting as a validator, setting up his own validatings, which is pretty cool. He says, for those interested in why it takes so long for Pulsechain validator to become active, because we saw that yesterday, right? So we saw that people had placed deposits, but they weren't actually active. And we're still sitting at 4096, where we knew that there was a lot of people who had been putting deposits in to become validators, and it just took a while. So it was a little post here by Hodldog and Bretep with Pulsechain dev there going exactly, which I thought was kind of cool. So we have a look at this little picture here. For those interested in why it takes so long, we've got this little picture. So we've got status unknown, meme pool, staker puts 32 ETH in. So this is using ETH as an example, but of course we have 32 million polls for a Pulsechain. Then deposited takes 8 hours, but the Ethereum contract there, status deposited, 0.5 to 3.5 hours. And then, of course, status pending, 6.4 minutes per 4 validators, and then status active staking there. So it gives you a nice flow from validated deposits through to actually being live as a validator on the Pulsechain and using the Ethereum setup there. So that's pretty cool. So I thought that was kind of neat there. Nice post there from Hodldog. We're going to talk more about Hodldog in a second, but before we do that, we're going to go up to other updates from Bretep. 23 hours ago. Thank you all for the reports. Please keep them coming. So a lot of people are posting reports, giving feedback about issues. I think it's things like that on V4. So it's kind of cool. Lots of people are excited about that. So it's kind of cool. So people are giving feedback, which is neat. Now, as I said, we do need some period of testing, right? We need some period of testing. So that all makes sense. So need little things. A lot of these things probably, hopefully, going to just be a lot of little things that need to be just tweaked here and there. The chain itself seems to be working pretty well for the most part. So that's kind of where we're sitting at the moment. Now, then 9 hours ago, said, good morning, Pulsechain testnet V4 validators. So obviously, this is kind of when Bretep wakes up. That's probably why he's always first on the GitLab. I said 246 validator deposits, 121 active, 8 pending to become active. Isn't that cool? So obviously the validator is going up, and you guys know I focused on a fair amount here. Now at this stage, I'm not doing a validator, so I'm not doing a lot of that. Trying to learn how to do a lot of the processes. And I have watched a lot of videos and stuff like that on it, but I'm not spending it doing it because I'm not actually setting one up. I may set one up after Pulsechain, but for a lot of these people, they want if you are setting up a validator, they want you to stay on the Pulsechain testnet V4 as well. They want the testing validators to stay up as well. Because obviously they've got to do other upgrades for probably for the Shanghai upgrade is my guess, things like that, EIP upgrades. So that's probably why they want the validators testing on the testnet to stay up. So not just to become a validator on the mainnet. So that's a very important distinction there, a very important function that the community can play as well. So I think that's plenty important. It's always important having independent validators also, not just the team 496. So that's pretty cool. So positive and nice to see, this increase, and the APY has jumped, right? So the APY is really attractive now, and they had to redo V4 because of the Genesis block to set this inflation up in the APR, sorry. So that's really positive. And that's encourage people, if you're looking at becoming a validator, it will be a way of earning Pulse. Obviously, There's a hardware issue involved, but other than that, a bit of learning involved. But there are some scripts, and of course, David Feder, RH Max, Hodl Dog, people like that have been Gamma, obviously, helping with that. In particular, RH Max, I think, just posted a script. We're going to talk about that if you want to become a validator. Certainly something to look at if you want to gain more pulse. Obviously, if the price of pulse goes up and to the right, then all your pulse is going to become more valuable. And it's just a matter of time in the market, isn't it? So that's something to think about there. So that's pre-tip there. So pretty bullish. Isn't that cool? Pretty bullish. Now let's look at some of the replies. Sometimes there's some replies in here that may mess up there. Wars here from the Liquid Loans team, How to Pulse team. Changes, I think he's doing How to Pulse. I'm not 100% sure about that. Changes look amazing. A great APR should help encourage migration from operators to other chains. So, he retweeted that, or he replied to that. We could reply, maybe just retweeted that, but what else there? Much easier on Avalanche. 100% not apples to apples. Even the word means different things. So he's responding to little things like that. 23 hours ago, 90% of users won't be able to do that. To be honest, what's he referring to? I'm not sure. Can add sell pressure on the token. How about a UI on PulseX or Pulse where we can click amount to add to pool and call it a staking pool? It has to be easier than that for adoption, friend. You're right. It's work to become a validator. It shouldn't be this hard, but there are trade-offs to launching soon or more development time. No one is arguing with you. Interesting. So you're right. It's work to become it does take work to become a validator. It shouldn't be this hard, but there are trade-offs to launching soon or more development time. No one is arguing with you. So it's kind of interesting comment. Our very own, this is on the 20th, it's a little bit older, but our very own Pulsechain dev pre-tip is getting the entire Hex community hyped. I love it. I love it so much that I want to buy more Hex, but I got to wait for gas fees to go down. Pulsechain solves this, which is pretty funny. So it's got to get sense of humor, as good old Brett. So nice one on that one. So I think that's kind of the latest updates there. I'm not quite. We've got a few more. Can a dev type or validator verify this? Yes, there are real numbers. I'm not sure what that tweet is. Seems to be gone. Must be, maybe I'm banned from that one. These are the real numbers. The entire reason for V4. Oh yeah, so yeah, we've got the high APR, so that's come down obviously with more validators coming on. And remember the target that Richard set was kind of with his initial numbers was at least if we 40,000 validators, that's like a 10x from 4,000. Then the APR probably goes down to somewhere like 3% or so, 3.5%, something like that. So that's kind of if we get up to that amount, which would be kind of cool for the security of the blockchain. Obviously, you're sharing more rewards, but it does definitely benefit people that adopt early, right? They become validators early and they start earning those high APRs. So that attracts capital, right? High rates of return. So that's kind of cool. So those are the updates from pre-tip. So like a boss man, that really appreciate all those updates there. Now, we're talking about people validating. We've got Dr. Hexagon here, V4 Pulsechain validator online now. So people are coming online, and you saw that a couple hundred people from the looks of it, or at least a couple hundred validators coming online with a certain amount of unique people. V4 Pulsechain validator online. Practice makes perfect. Getting good at this now. You can launch now. So yeah, some people that have spent the time doing it, the process gets pretty fluid, right? It's just like anything you learn. It might be a bit more of a work at the beginning, a bit of a mental game, but then once you get it set up, you can just reboot and set it up and go for gold. So this person's sort of got confident now, and they got their validator up and running, which is pretty cool. So hats off, and this coffee's so tasty. All right, so that there was Dr. Hexagon. I don't know who that is, just some random, but I thought that was pretty cool. Hodl Dog has also got his. He's got two. He had one validator. Now he's indicating he's got two validators, two Pulsechain V4 validators active for less than an hour. So we had to look at his single one when he first put it up. Now he's on V4. He's got two up and running. And so he's like a boss man. Last day, apparently, he's earned 1,232 test pulse. Remember, the APR is really high, and he's in early. So he's just picked it up. So he's starting to churn away that pulse. And obviously, pulse goes up and to the right, then it's yield times price. That's the holy grail, and onwards and upwards there, especially as the early validator. So it's kind of cool. So that's what he's been earning, and nice total earnings, very good. So that is from Hodl Dog. Now, Hot Dog's actually got a few other tweets, so we might actually look at those. He's been quite busy on here. Let me just scroll back down to where we were. He says our friend is back as well, so somebody else that's being a validator is back there. Validator, Sunshine. So he's pretty happy about that, obviously, being a validator. Who else? What else has Hodldog got? Hodldog.com, V4 blockchain. Actually, I haven't been on hodldog.com. We'll go be nosy, have a look at that. I guess this is one of the blocks that he validated. Let me have a look here. Yeah, proposer 4224. So I guess that's Hodldog. And looks like he was the proposer of the block. So Vola, the Hodldog, Pulsechain V4 block. So that's an example of one of the blocks that he got to be a proposer on, which is pretty neat. This is Hodldog. So wow, I have never been on this site here. Buy some Hex. So that's all the stuff there as well. Pulsechain validator. Let's go check that out. Fill out your test pulse. So he's got V2B on here, so it's a bit old on that one. But yeah, cool. Okay, he may do have some videos too, so you may want to check that out. All right, so what else we got going there? Now, people obviously hear Danny's going. The real question is, will there be a warning when Pulsechain mainnet? So people asking that. So just confirm. Golkey asked that 3 hours ago. There will be no warning for Pulsechain mainnet launch. We're not expecting any warning. Richard said this. You've had your warnings, and so it does appear that it could be any time. There's going to be no V5. Remember, we've had that confirmed from Bretet. No V5. So V4 is the last one. So it could launch anytime. We have had some devs also give us some third-party stuff there about within 2 weeks. But of course, that's the old meme now, 2 weeks. But that's definitely could be any time. So pretty cool. Now, thirdly, moving to RH Max, another influence in the space. Congratulations, RH Max just hit the 5555 subscriber club, which is kind of cool. So that's congratulations to RH Max, working hard for that. But he's doing quite a bit of stuff around testnet V4 as a validator. Just pushed Pulsechain testnet V4 validator to validator script code, and of course he's been pushing that out. So he's got GitHub there, so you can actually find that. I'll actually post this link in the chat there in case you want to pick up that validator. If you've been thinking about it, you want it to be nice and easy. Then following RH Max or David Feder or Gamma. Is really important there, and I will try and post in his links in our Discord under useful links. We've got David Feder and Gamma on there with their links under useful links, but I'll try and add RH Max and possibly even Hodldog. We'll see if I can find some decent ones. Basically, they're kind of scripts. I think also Jexa there from the old Liquid Loan teams. I think he's also done stuff around validating in a script, so he's another potential source. So hopefully that's gives you a few leads of what to do and some links. All right, who else is in the chat here? We're going to pause in a second. Just going to get through to Pulsex until we get Pulsex. We're still going through Pulsechain updates, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, really cool. Tested on V3 and testing on V4 now. It should be automated. 85% of the server setup if your hardware is ready. Some YouTube videos on there. So here's likely to, RH Max is a good one to follow doing validating, as well as David Feder, as I say, and maybe Hodldog. And Gamma is not on YouTube. Gamma's on another site, which I've got the links on, our useful links in Discord, he's a Pulsechain dev team member. All right, so that leads us up to Gamma. So here's Gamma. Mainnet is coming. So Pulsechain dev team member, mainnet is coming. Don't sleep on it. Richard Hart said you all got your warnings already. So there we are. So take that strongly because it could be any time. Some people are calling within 14 days, and I know there's the mean 14 days, but they'll likely run the testnet V4 in parallel from the looks of it. And they want validators to stay up on that, and of course, then mainnet looks like the way. And of course, you can be a validator on mainnet, not a validator on the testnet, but testnet helps them to do, I guess, the EIP upgrades and things like that is the way they're possibly looking at that. Yeah, it's kind of cool. That is where we are, folks. That is where we are. So don't sleep on it. Mainnet is coming. No V5. V4 was it. Had the big upgrade for the APR for validators. And yeah, it looks like Chapella is probably going to be done separately for the Pulse withdrawals at this stage. That looks like where we are at the moment. Hod Pro Hot Pro says we're ready, and we are ready. I think we're ready. Absolutely, Gamma. I think so many don't believe it's coming and are asleep. Very bad decision. That's often what happens. Now, I posted a video there, rightly or wrongly, of Ivan on Tech yesterday. Now, he was wrong about V5 at the end of his video because we already know that's not the case from Pulsechain dev Bretep, but his speculation that Pulsechain could be very soon, that seems very realistic. And so, yeah, we may not be waiting to 2024, 2025 like some of you real pessimists out there. Hashtag that's so long away. And then I said there's lots of people claiming fame about calling 2 years later and all sorts of stuff like that. Now, that's like a revisionary history if you ask me. But anyway, we are getting there. We are very, very close to that very, very soon. So cool stuff. So that's our Pulsechain update for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll probably check Richard Hart later on to see where we go from there. But before we do that, we're going to get into PulseX next. PulseX is next on our list. So we'll talk about PulseX and the bridge. Let's see who else has jumped in the house here. Yeah, Matt Langer. Let's go. I like that. That's so cool. What else? We'll jump through some of this. Christian Collins says Book of Revelations. The end is near, says Christian. That's funny. Blobfish King says talking about disasters. Yeah. Well, it definitely feels like that, to be honest. It feels like we're going back to the first century, if you're asking me. I climbed the Christchurch steeple in 2001, loved it, and that was awesome. It's great to the fact that someone can understand what I was saying about that. Who else was Wookie says he climbed the Christchurch Cathedral as a kid. It was spooky. It would have been spooky as a kid. I understand that. It's like Hogwarts out of Harry Potter. It reminds me of that kind of feel, but even more so, because it's real. It's not just some made up digital thing or whatever, or some set. Matt Langer says, I'm surprised Hex price is dropping. Yeah, crazy that too. PSI says K4K posted on Twitter. What did he post? What did he post on Twitter? Did he post something? Or we might look at that later on. Let me know what he posted. I don't know what he posted. Tintop said, what's up, Hexagons? What's up? Hey, good to see you, Tintop. And QQ, down the market goes. Yeah, well, Bitcoin's going down and Hex hasn't been performing that well, but what that means is that people can pick up more Hex as it goes down. So it's a DCO opportunity. Pulsechain's coming, so yeah, just the way it goes. Hey, 2023, the year of the Pulsechain. Woo! Hey, great, it is indeed. It's coming soon. Romania, sometimes it's good not to have there's the counter argument. Let me put it that way. There's a counterfactual of some of the argument is that if you don't have the hype up, then you have it on the other side, right? You have it on the other side. So that may end up playing out too. So we'll see. We'll see exactly how it rolls out. But lots of opportunities ahead. It's the old argument from a lower base, price base there. It's time to tell Ethereum, get out of the way. The dawn is coming. Pulsechain says Christian Collins. I like that. That's true. J-Man in the house. Good to see J-Man. Susie Q as well. Hi, Superman family. Lots of hugs and kisses from Susie Q. Great to see you, Susie Q. Feels like it's been a little while, Susie Q, but good to see you in the house. What else there? J-Man, Pulsechain to the rockets. I like it. Kiki says RH should launch when Hex bottoms. Yeah, well, that would be that's the counter argument, right? The counter argument is launching from a lower base, as opposed to a hype run up. Hit the likes, definitely smash the likes. QQ says leaves behind all the people who sold. That's true. That is true. Pulse is set to explode. J-Man says 100%. I went through just a partial list of all the pumpamentals yesterday. I should read them out. Maybe I'll read them out. Should I read them out first? Shall we do that? Let's do that. I'm going to have to open up what am I on? I've forgotten what it's called. That's hilarious. Mind freeze. Mind freeze. Wait a minute. It's just opening up. Yes, there we go. All right. All right. Okay, cool. So I was having a little chat and I posted some of these pumpamentals for Pulse. Now, some of these apply to Pulse X as well, but you get the idea, you get the thing. So bullish things for Pulse chain. Supply sinks. Obviously, you want to get Pulse off the market, right? There's a lot of Pulse. I've done estimates, I think 12.5 trillion plus. I was trying to download the file yesterday, but I didn't. I was having some issues. 12.5 12.5 trillion Pulse public supply, plus several trillion on the AMM, plus probably going to be a lot more on the AMM than originally expected. So just let's use the old numbers. Let's say 6.5 trillion. I haven't adjusted it for the updated information, but that's kind of the old numbers. Then you want to get that off the market, right? You want to get off the market. Obviously, a lot of it's already sitting in liquidity pools, the 3.5. But let's go down to the public numbers. Let's say 12.5 trillion or so in the public hands. And you want to get it off the market. So supply sinks are a good way of doing it, right? So people can validate. So start validating. That's going to be a kind of a slow ramp up if you think about it. So even though you got some early validators, it takes time to ramp up as people go for the APR. And then of course delegating services are really going to accelerate that, right? So getting things like Lido kind of equivalents onto that. And we know that Alex McFit is looking at one of those competitors. So that's a pretty big deal. Hey, Groot, thanks very much for the super sticker. You're interrupting with awesomeness. Thank you very much. And Superman up and away. I like that, Groot. Nice work. Nice work. Yeah, Superman is flying. I like it. Thank you so much, Groot. Appreciate that. So yeah, back to PLS. It's a supply sinks there. So validating is going to take Pulse off the market. So that removes the supply side. Liquid loans. Obviously, people have to put their Pulse in liquid loans to get the stablecoin USDL. That takes Pulse off the market. So that's bullish. People often use that USDL to go and buy more Pulse. So we'll talk about that in a second. Fiat, of course, a fork of Aave. That allows people to put Pulse on there and get returns by lending it out. So that's kind of bullish. Famous is a fork of GMX. And of course, that's liquidity providing and margin trading. So you provide liquidity to people so they can margin trade and leverage. So there's two forms there. So people put the Pulse in there and they can get returns. I think that's got Pulse in it. And of course, they can go and leverage trade. And that's a buy side fundamental. Pulsex, of course, is going to be mega, of course, with all the liquidity pools LP providing. So it locks up a lot of Pulse off the markets. So people providing more liquidity on top of the AMM and all that sort of stuff. EIP 1559 burn. So that we've got a burning from the supply side with the actual Pulse chain itself. Obviously, we've got lower inflation, 25% than Ethereum and stuff. So it's a relative comparison. But in an absolute sense, we've got the EIP 1559. So that's kind of bullish. So we've got a lot of supply sinks, and we're going to have a lot of more third-party projects and other stuff like that. They're going to supply sinks as well. So it's kind of bullish like that point of view. Now, from the buying side, so if you take all that, that's all bullish. On the buying side, you've got those that missed out on Pulse. They want Pulse. Pulse X sacrifices. Many of them did even more Pulse X sacrifice so they could get some from Pulse. So they're going to ratio trade for Pulse. So that's going to try and snap up more Pulse. Pulse being the layer 1 chain coin, of course. New people, of course, airdrop recipients, they'll all come over and then they go, hey, I've come over for my airdrop, but I want some Pulse. So they're going to want some Pulse. New people want some Pulses, so just generally. Liquid loans, of course, people that borrow the stablecoin there, they want to take the stablecoin and buy more PLS, so they go and buy that. And of course, we know there's lots of strategies around like that with the haunted strategy and the hot pool strategy and all sorts of strategies out there. So a lot of people want to leverage those up. And a lot of that DeFi comes in 4 to 6 weeks later, so that's all bullish. Power City fee buys, obviously everything that Power City has with their ecosystem, whether it's Portal X, whether it's amplification, whether it's in protocol, all this sort of stuff, all the fees there go to buy Pulse. And of course, that is a continual buyer of Pulse. So that's only bullish for Pulsechain. And so you got a continual buying there. Large players, of course, come in as more confidence in the chain. Some of them want to get in early. Some of them want to come in later on. And so you get the big, large players. So these are wealthy individuals or wealthy or institutions that start to flow in. So you get all those. And some of those might be, push or pull. So push would be things like the Hex Investment Trust. They set up a Pulse Investment Trust and go public on NASDAQ that way. So that takes a bit more time, but that's in play. And then you also have other institutions that maybe crypto investing or whatever, and they come in and they buy up as well. And then, of course, you've got speculators that come in as well. So there's lots of different parties. There's a lot more buying parties that could come in, what I've made. Obviously, you've got the highest stakes and all that sort of stuff out there too. So there's lots of different things that come in to push that up, plus obviously all the FOMO that goes on. So both supply sinks and buying are very bullish for Pulse. So I think it's going to be pretty incredible. We know that Pulsechain pretty much has between Pulsechain and Pulsex has the best tokenomics of any layer 1 ecosystem launch out there by a long shot. And that's not to include some of the economic engines that Pulsechain has as well. as I always talk about, with the AMM bot, the war chest, potentially no expectations and things like that. So it's pretty cool. So that was just some of the things I wanted to raise there about that. Christian says, I'm going to DCAing for the 6 months to a year. Very smart strategy. We all know that going in early is typically the best in history to accumulate over that period of time. There will be massive dips, massive pumps, but over time we're expecting a parabolic pump and go up to the right, barring any world catastrophe, any world global black swan event. No screen share, says JR. Yeah, I'm not doing screen share. I'm just telling you what it is. Yeah, no screen share today. We're coming back to screen share. It's pretty shortly. What else there? Lone Star and House there. Why are the gas fees so crazy right now to buy the Hex dip? Just lots of stuff happening. I know that we've had things. You can go to the top burners. We might look at that question later on, but I know that there's been the Pepe token and other things pretty busy out there. The Zen, of course, is causing a lot of stuff as well. They've been doing a lot of minting and things. Always good to see you, Suitman. Hey, J-Man, appreciate that. Nice behind the scenes screening by the highest of stakes tweet. Oh, I haven't seen that, so we might pull that up. Let's do that now while I remember. Let's do that while I remember, because there's probably I'll forget otherwise. The highest of stakes, the highest stakes. So got a tweet out. We haven't seen a tweet from them for some time. 2 hours ago. A little behind the scenes of the VIP screening of Synergy here, Alex McFurter, earlier this week. A little behind the scenes of the VIP screening for Synergy earlier this week, alongside Pirate RG3 and Big Kowalski. The official film on Richard Hart, Hex. Thank you, Alex, the winner there now. It's got sound effects, so I'm just going to play the video from the beginning, so I hope you guys can see that. Let me just add that on, just 1 moment. Let me pull that up, and here we go. Bam. So we're going to play that. I'm not going to play the sound because it's got a copyright sound thing on it probably, so we're going to play that. Bum, 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 bum. I'm adding the sound effects. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. There's Alex McFurter. There's the Big K. There's RG3. All coming in there to watch a premiere of the show. Can you believe it? Lucky percentage of guns, highest of stakes. Look at that. Oh man, talk about exclusive club, man. Exclusive club. Oh whoa. They all get to see it. Nice. Hashtag jealous. They already got some clips in there. Let's see what they do. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat if you recognize any of those faces, because I don't know any of those last ones there. About 90 minutes later, so to watch the movie. Alex says it's fantastic, and they're pretty excited about it. So Alex said it's fantastic. RG3 says it's phenomenal. The music has changed the whole film for him. Remember, there's got was it a 40-piece music score, so 40 instruments, the full thing. So that the music lifts the movies big time. So I can't wait to hear the musical score for the highest stakes. There's no better crypto documentary. I said that too. I said, the last one we had, a year on Netflix. So a year ago, Netflix did one on, I think it was a Bitcoin mystery one. That got almost close to 2 million views on YouTube for that video alone. And I don't think there's anything actually been at this quality that's actually going to be in any documentary. Because I don't know, when you first get into crypto, you often watch the old Bitcoin documentaries and stuff like that. But man, this is going to be next level for sure. All right, so I'll post that video. I'll post that link there. Thanks for highlighting that there, Archipelago, and post that in the chat there. You can go watch that and hear all the sound effects. But that is kind of cool. Very, very nice. All right, so that is that. That was a bit of unexpected surprise there. Very cool. We'll give that a like and a share. So we'll share that around. All right, let's get into Pulsex. Pulsex at the moment, V4 obviously is here. And of course, this opens you up to Pulsex. Now, Pulsex.com is in the video description. Let's jump over to the actual live version. If it's going to close. Is that going to close down? Yeah. We can see that one pulse to Pulsex at the moment is 1 to 3.35 or 3.43. It's getting pumped at the moment on the 24-hour. And let's have a look at a longer time frame, which is what, 2 days? I don't know. Loading data. Is it going to have a fit there? Oh, well, it's having a fit there on the weekly. So the daily there, looking pretty good. It's actually a bit stronger than it was before. We're sitting at what, 2.6 something. Now we're at 3.43. Interesting ratio there. We've got no limit orders yet. The farms, we've got the farms still ticking away. I've got no farm on this at the moment because I've only got 6 pulse, as we said earlier. I have to get some pulse. Someone offered. I can't remember who offered in the chat there, but it was a Tom Boss. I think it was Tom Boss. And so forth. So that's kind of cool. So look at the volume turnover on the testnet. Obviously, we haven't got the bridge working yet, so haven't got US dollars in there either. But they're working on the bridge. You can ratio trade though, so that's fine. And the burn, we won't have burn yet either. Oh yeah, we got burn. So that's right. We started off burn. So yesterday we started burn. I think we had 30 times. Was it 32 or 39 million burn? Now we're up to 744 million Pulsex burned. So it's kind of cool. All right, so that's ticking along quite nicely. So that's kind of neat. Now we've got the bridge. Now the bridge is not yet. Yesterday there was a notice on here that they were updating for V4. That V4 was coming. So it's not yet here. So you can see it's not yet ready. But V4 is probably not far away. We saw the team working pretty hard there on the GitLab. So that's definitely happening. So that's coming pretty close. All right, so we'll wait for that, and then once that on boards, we'll get US dollar prices flooding through there with the DAI. So we'll cover that when that probably opens up, hopefully tomorrow on that. All right, so let's get to the poll. So this is a Pulsechain launch date community poll results. It's the title of the video. When do you think the mainnet will launch? Let's get a refresh this and get the latest and greatest. And we're going to zoom in on that. So this is the poll results. We had 321 people vote in 20 hours. When do you think Pulsechain mainnet will launch? We've had within the next 2 days, the 7th of May or earlier. So the 6th or 7th of May is 2 weeks time, right? That's on the weekend. Seems like the most logical time to launch with the lower, just generally lower gas prices and things. I don't know. But mainnet, so there's been quite a bit of talk around, obviously coming soon, no warning. We saw that from Gamma. No warnings, and Richard Skiven said no warnings. So we've had lots of sort of stuff like that. Some devs have been mentioning that could launch within it. They've heard things that could launch within the next 2 weeks. So we might have the testnet running in parallel. And that way you can do, like I say, possibly the logic there is to do upgrades and have validators running on that too, with the, testing out, just like people test out on the other testnets like Goerlia and stuff like that for Ethereum or Sepelia. So yeah, we got 23 people have voted for within the next 2 weeks by the 7th of May, so 6th or 7th. I certainly don't think it's going to be this week because it's just, still testing stuff going on, little minor things. But we'll see. Maybe they surprise Shock and Awe. Shock and Awe could be a launch. We'll see. Now, we don't know the block height, right? So what's the current block height? So Richard some time back said, you haven't missed out on Pulsechain yet, so we don't know when the block fork's going to be. Obviously, the testnet V4 and V3 were based on the 26th of January. So that's, we don't know when that's going to be either. So Richard's going to game this quite a bit. So it's going to be neat to see how that plays out. May the 8th or later. So in May, but the 8th of May or later, 40%. So picking 40%. Now we know that a lot of people have been picking May as the launch period. And then of course, June is 9%. You guys know I've been sort of saying June is kind of my target. But hey, if I'm wrong, great. Earlier the better. But July obviously is also 7th there, 7%, so 9 and 7. So that's been on my timeline there on my spreadsheet. It's been June, July, so 9 or 7%. Now the cool thing about May is that the terminal rates hopefully will hit the terminal rate on the stock market Federal Reserve increases. So that would be cool. That's like a pivot in the interest rates. That'd be nice. August or later, we've still got 22%, so 1 in 5 still thinking it's August or later. I really don't see that. I think based on the evidence we've been talking about the last couple of days from the devs, but definitely it feels like it's closer for real this time with devs and the confidence that's going on there. So pretty cool on that. So that is the poll results. Thanks everybody for filling those out. I'm sure we've got a few more votes by the time we get there tomorrow, but that's kind of neat. Christian says a good ratio. Yeah, the 3.4 was it? Yeah, on the Pulsex. Mainnet coming soon, says J-Man. I think so. It's getting pretty close. Crypto Steve says 5 block height. Thomas says, man, I have a May holiday from the 1st to the 6th. I really hope it's out by that week so I can leave my computer for a week, says Tombus. Yeah, nice. Do we have to do anything to be able to get DAI on mainnet, like what we had to do for testnet v3 v4? It's the same principle, Christian. It's just going to be real this time. You're going to use a bridge. It's just going to be real. So I believe, I guess the Portal X, I'm not sure how fast they'll be up and running with Portal X, but the official bridge should be up fairly soon as well. So it's going to be interesting. Tom Boss said, wow, prices on testnet today is on fire. Yeah, indeed. Now, I forgot to look at the prices. Yeah, I looked at the ratio prices, but we're waiting for the DAI to come over, bridge over. So I'll probably cover that tomorrow if it all comes out. So that is the update there for the Pulsechain launch date community poll. Hopefully that's of some interest to you. We've definitely got 63% thinking it's going to be May or earlier. So that's pretty much it, because we're still in April. It's still 22nd of April. Be shocking all with it if it's before the end of April, isn't it? When they picked a block height and then just went bam. There it is, folks. Because they got up pretty. I don't know. I think they got up pretty fast because they had to put the inflation update, which was done by a few, unknown devs, as it were. So I think Bretep quote, and so yeah, they seem to be getting pretty fast at launching this because they got, within 7 months they got fork and proof of stake of Ethereum with all the 4 clients operating and everything else. They're pretty confident with it. Obviously dealing with any small issues coming out. We saw Bretep talking about that. So definitely give the feedback to them. Nice. Now, let's jump through from here. We've got more updates around Pulsechain. And, of course, we've got Coast. Now, Coast is bringing one of the very important aspects to the vertical integration. Richard Hart always talks about Pulsechain, Pulsex, a better MetaMask wallet, although it's more optional. And, of course, the fiat on-ramp, off-ramp being part of the vertical integration, which is actually a fundamental part, right? And cross-chain bridges, but that's definitely important there. So fiat on-ramp upgrade Coast is doing. Final compliance checks with bank partner have been completed and approved. Coming soon to Ethereum and then Pulsechain. So obviously they were probably a bit more aggressive on their original launch date because I'm pretty sure it was February, and here we are in April. But it looks like they're getting there at the end. Final compliance checks with banking partner have been completed and approved. Coming to Ethereum and then Pulsechain. Very, very cool. Now with Ethereum, we're expecting USDC. Interesting. We'll see whether they pivot from that, but USDC and Pulse we're expecting their own stablecoin, either Coast or PUSD, I think was what won the poll there. So either name will probably pop up there. So that's kind of cool. They have had other updates though since that time as well. Let me just jump through some of these. So this is one of our top tier utility teams, and we're waiting for their product delivery. Let me just jump through some of this. So 3 hours ago, we had a lot of updates from them. Our product won't impose limits on the amount of capital you can on-ramp or off-ramp, daily, monthly, or total. That's great news. Now, I'm on some platforms that have those sort of limits, but that's good to see that that's not the case. We will facilitate a smooth onboarding experience for large investors in the Hex and Pulsechain ecosystem. Very nice. That is great. So really bringing in the bigger money. Nice. 2 hours ago, you will be able to fund your digital account in 3 ways. You can do wire transfers, bank transfers, a credit or debit card. That's fantastic. So that's really, really helpful. Launching on Ethereum soon, then Pulsechain. So it's got the flow of funds there from your bank account to your digital account to your self-custody wallet. Nice. Very easy on that one. So cool on that. So nice. What else there? I'll probably have to retweet all those. What else we had 2 hours ago? A note on KYC, so know your customer. They do have a basic one on there, I believe. I can't remember how much it is, but financial institutions need to comply with KYC rules, regulations in order to operate. We believe in the future where trading, banking isn't required and DeFi increases is reached. The reality is that we aren't in that position yet. We might show the whole thread here. When using our fiat on-ramp that can support large amounts of economic energy, you can create a digital account with our banking partner. So you need to perform KYC because they obviously got the banking partner. So there's no custodial as such, except for the banking partner. So Coast is not the custodial, but the bank, you still got the bank to deal with there. But that's cool. We just make it really easy. If you want to on-ramp $100 with no KYC, there are other products out there, so you can do that, obviously. We interviewed and performed due diligence on multiple KYC providers, but ultimately our banking partner, like many other institutions, uses Socure for KYC. They also allow us to easily onboard new countries, markets to the Hex and Pulsechain community, and that's a big deal, right? So originally they're looking at launching in the US. I'm not sure if it's all state-wise because they were going state by state, but the US and UK. UK wasn't an issue, so the UK is going to be up and running pretty quick. And then they're expanding out globally from there. There's a big map of that on their website. The KYC process will be simple and quick. You receive a link from you receive a link from Socure, the provider. Open the link in the browser. Allow the camera. Browser captures image of front and back of your ID, driver's license. So it's pretty much a full KYC in that sense. A browser captures picture of your face, the country you are in, location. This takes 1 minute or less than 1 minute to do. This creates a Socure ID digitally and allows our banking partner to confirm this matches your registration details. The stats suggest greater than 90% of the customers should be verified in circa 2 minutes, with user error such as misspelling causing mismatch or registration form from being most common. Finally, Secure will allow a seamless and easy experience for users and will allow us to efficiently add more countries to our base. So that should be fairly quick there on that process. So that's kind of neat. Obviously, in crypto, we're generally in DeFi, particularly against KYC. But hey, look, if you're going to use this method, then that's just what you're going to have to do there. Now, obviously, there's alternatives to do stuff, and yeah, it just depends on where you are. Now, all right, so you might have to. So some other ways you might have to do is you might have to, if you want to use alternatives, you can use alternatives that get you onto Ethereum, and then you could use Portal X to jump over. So you've got there are other alternatives, but this is definitely going to be probably a pretty key player in the mix there. The platform fees will not apply. So this is 2 hours ago. Platform fees will not apply when moving capital from on-chain back to your digital wallet, digital account. So you can de-risk off-ramp with essentially 0 fee. That's kind of cool. So that's really cool. Platform fees will not apply when moving capital from on-chain back to your digital account. That's great news. So cool on that. When Hex is unlocked from staking contract, 5% is burned. So remember that if you're going to use that, this feature brings both cheaper fees to the Hex community and reduces sell pressure on the market, a win-win. Certainly, if the volume is quite large going through Coast, that would have some effect on the Hex potentially. A clarification: platform fees apply when moving economic energy to or from digital bank account and personal bank account. So some updates there. So man, they've been quite prolific with their updates today. 1 hour ago, our product won't need you to get distracted and chopped up by trading fees. We only care about making it easy for people to bring their economic energy into Hex and Pulsechain. That's an update there as well. We're up to, we've got more? Yeah, one more. 1 hour ago, Fiat on-ramp update. As soon as your funds arrive in your digital account, you are able to use them. They won't be held. If you want to move them immediately on-chain, that's fine. So you can do that. So it's kind of cool. We're almost up done. Yeah, that's it. So kind of cool. They've got an FAQ on their website, probably on oxcoast.com if you want to see that. So nice one on there. How many people they got there? 12,400 followers. So they're slowly growing there on the user account. So it's kind of cool. All right. That is our end of our Pulsechain and Pulse X updates, which is kind of cool. Let's see who else has jumped in here. Christian Cole says we need an RH wallet or something other than MetaMask. Well, KG's provided internet money, but there is a RH wallet is being developed. So you'll probably have at least 2 native Pulsechain options that you can choose from. And I believe that the internet money wallet is getting pretty close. It must be like a month away or so for the next final beta. When can we do a KYC process? When they launch. So that's coming pretty soon. They look like they are getting there with that banking compliance check update completed. All right, let's get into the markets. Let's do it. Let's go. How are we going here? All right. So now the market. This title, the commentary and the markets don't add up. So I think they write the commentary before the markets. I don't know. It seems a bit weird. The markets and the commentary don't match up. So we're going to jump through most of the commentary. The Dow Jones there is just up slightly at 22 points, up to 33,808. S&P 500 is up slightly to 3.87 points, up to 4,133. And the NASDAQ with all the tech companies is up 0.1%, 13 points to 12,072. US dollar is down a little bit there, 0.1% at 101.43. Looking at the commodities, we've got oil. There's up just under 1% and up to $81.75 on Brent oil. In West Texas, there at $77.82. Gold's taken off its edge. The edge off gold is down 1.2%, 1.3%, down $26 to $19.93. So below 2,000 there, reaching record highs at 2,060. And silver is down as well, 0.9% there, down $25.15. Now we're going to jump down to the only update that we're going to read off this. On the economic front, manufacturing activity picked up in April, climbing to a reading of 50.4 from 49.2. So interesting little boost there in manufacturing, signaling a return to expansion. Anything over 50 is expansionary. Services activity also inched higher to a reading of 53.7 from 52.6. So a bit of a rebound there in the economy. So that will be interesting to see how that plays into the inflation story there for the Federal Reserve. Quickly look at the Federal Reserve, where we're up to. 1 week and 4 days away and 17 hours to go until the Fed meeting on the 3rd of May. So 2nd, 3rd of May, but 3rd of May with the announcement there. So it's getting closer. The market has priced in, 90% of the market is pricing in a 25% basis rise to 5 to 5.25. Hopefully that is the terminal rate. Hopefully that's the last one. Let's see what people are pricing in for June. There are almost 1 in 4 pricing in another rate hike there, sneaking in into the mix on July. So let's hope we don't get there. We'll find out on the May one there. We did have inflation pullback last time, and we have seen some cracks in the employment markets. So hopefully there, but of course that rebound in manufacturing services may be partly off footing there. We have had some presidents also talk about being more hawkish, trying to make get down to that inflation rate. But maybe the Fed will pivot and say, hey, look, we were taking 2%, we're getting lower and lower, and maybe we'll just have to accept the 3% that's kind of the inflation level we're going to be. We'll see whether those people win out versus the more hawkish Fed presidents in there. All right, so cool. That is what's happening now. Let's go to the crypto. Crypto pulling back, of course, and failed to rally post 30K. Of course, had to hit 30,500 on Bitcoin. We're at 1.23 trillion on the global market, down 3.56%. BTC dominance just under 43% there. We've got Bitcoin at 27,337. Oh man, how things have changed so quickly. Welcome to crypto. And of course, people are talking about the price going down. There's the bears taking over. 3.3% down on 24 hours, 10% for the week. Ethereum also down to 1854. Down 5%, so that's down there. Now, Ethereum should be going up, right? Ethereum should be going up. I mean, the price, it's a pretty valuable chain, huge fees, congestion. I don't know, there's an argument for higher valuation. So, but this is what happens in the markets, right? So there's a risk off happening at the moment, and of course, manipulation is always in play. Binance there is at $322, up 1%. XRP is down 5%. At 45 cents. Cardano down 4.5% at 38.4 cents. Now, before we move on from XRP, we're waiting. That court case might be a nice rebound for altcoin run. We'll see. We need some good news like that. Hex is at 6.04 cents, is down 3.5%, but down 16% for the week. So no doubt people are feeling that on their portfolio values. But that being said, it's an opportunity for DCAing and picking up more Hex before Pulsechain. So lucky times for people, really. Now, so obviously, quite a few people are looking for a big run up. Now, really, it's going to depend on how Richard launches, and maybe we get a post-launch run up. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. OKB there is down 10% at $47.58 and down 10% for the week. Those are our top 10. Let's jump over to Hex. Hex at the moment. Let's get rid of our overlays. And so here we are, Hex 6.37 cents there. We did bounce off the 200 yesterday. The 200 rolling average there is at 5.8 cents. We pierced through it. We got down to 5.69, so just under 5.7 cents there, and bounced back to 6 cents, and that's where we are at the moment. So we got complete rollover. Well, it has rolled over, but that's not capitulation. Yeah, it would be nice to hold this 200 EMA, that's for sure. Where's our support here? The support line, 5.6 to 5.8, and that's where we are at the moment. So that's kind of the very important support range in here, in my view, based on horizontals. And where we get that, we got these previous resistance around these areas, and here previous supports as well, and that's sort of, and then we've got the EMA as well. So that's kind of the logic there for some support areas there. Let's have a look at the RSI. On the RSI, we're not oversold those, so the market can go down, can break through that. And of course, if it does, then you've got horizontal support, very weak though, at 5 cents. So 5 cents is the marker there, but very weak support levels as compared to the 5.6, 5.8, which is much stronger with all those other key areas, support and resistance areas. So we're at 38 here as well. Let's have a look on the, I haven't done this for a while, but let's have a look on the weekly. That's the week there, big red week, ouchie, 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 and of course down 16% for the week. Pretty wretched there, but we had this big run up, 7.5x run up here in 2 months, so probably not surprising there. With the parabolics, that's what a parabolic looks like, right? Parabolics, hopefully it's beep beep up to the right there. We'll see. But more importantly, let's bring over the overlays. And I've got too many overlays. Let's go back to the daily. So data there, we actually let me get rid of the RSI. Too much noise. So we did actually, we're actually bouncing above this long-term blue line, which was our resistance, and that's kind of our support there. We just pierced through that. We've bounced back just about on it. So it's a bit of a fight tussle here to stay above the blue line, but that'd be pretty bullish if we can bounce off there. Be pretty neat. Now, I've got that poll result. We had the 6th of May. Now, that 6th or 7th of May would be the second weekend ahead of us, and that would be here. That'd be in here. So that would be pretty nice if we got a Pulsechain mainnet surprise launch, and that is, it's definitely plausible. We will see how we get with that. And of course, I've still got my Pulsechain launch time frame in June, July here, which seems reasonable, just because I thought there's going to be a bit more testing and a bit more feedback from teams launching their dApps. Now, Liquid Loans, I posted a video yesterday from CC Crypto Crazy about launching Liquid Loans. They got to ramp their stuff up, so get testing on V4 as well. So kind of cool. Now, that's not necessarily for for mainnet, right? Because they're not launching to 4 to 6 weeks later anyway. So they can just stay on the testnet and play around and have people play around it and test it. But CC does want people to test the Liquid Loans. And I'm not sure if it's up yet, but let's have a quick look while we're talking about Liquid Loans. You can check the video out. I posted yesterday. I reposted their video. I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem with that. More people hearing about it, the better. So there we are. Let's see. So wrong network. So yeah, it's not really up for V4 yet. But it is up. Have I gone on V4? Yeah. Yeah, so it's not up for V4, but this will be up soon, is my guess, for V4 testing. So that is Hex. Let's have a look on the 24 hours. 24 hours, we're down 2.7%. 24 hours, which is not too bad in crypto. But liquidity's dropped under 8 million. We're at 7.9 million. We've got our buys at 411 versus, which is 69% of the buy trades. But the volumes there are pretty much just slightly ahead with the sell volume. 51% sell volume, just over 1.4 million there. So that is the play. All right. So where else are we going to go here? We're going to look at the Uniswap liquidity because I just want to see how close we got to that support level. As you guys know, 5.4 cents has been our long-term support there by LP provider. And you guys know why I'm laughing. All right, so there is our big support that's been there for a long time and comes up to 5.4 cents. So we're just at the bottom of the tranche here at the moment. So there's all the stuff here. If a big whale wants to buy a lot of Hex, there's a lot of Hex there for them. But obviously we're sitting here at just over 6 cents, and we drop off this tranche just under 6 cents there, and we get down to these lower ranges here. There's not a lot of US dollars in there. Not much at all. Like it could easily float back down through there and easily hit the 5.4 if it was going to do that. So really 5.6 to 5.8 is our support level. And then normally you would say 5 cents is kind of the support on the chart is, but liquidity is actually still sitting at 5.4. So we've actually got quite a bit more buffer there and resistance in the 5 cent zone, assuming this doesn't move. And I don't suspect it will move. And that's sitting at 5.4. But these are $37,000 candles. Remember, this doesn't include limit orders, doesn't include off-market buys coming in either. And of course, Pulsechain's still coming. So there's all these resistances that support this 5 cent to 6 cent range. So that's kind of looking where we are there at the moment. Let's look at the whale bot over the last 24 hours. Let's see what's going on with the whales. What do we got here? We got 7 million hex sold, 424,000 17 hours ago. So let's have a look at that. Hex Lioness is in there, Hodl Dog is attracting attention. Who else? We got 1.2 million hex burned for 4,143 days. Nice. What's that? Is that 11 years or 12 years, somewhere like that? So that's pretty cool. We'll give that lots of love. That's 1.2 million off there. What else? Let's see what else we got going here. 1.2 million burned again. Nice, very nice. Congratulations. Getting in before the share rate rises too, right? So the share rate's just going to keep ramping up this year. So some smart moves there. 1.2 million burned for 4,200 days. What else we got going in here? 4.8 million sold 12 hours ago for 273,000. Let's see any comments on that one. Tenny says, I'll start buying under 2 cents. Is Tenny there? Little dog there, smashing on yourself. Yeah, a bit like that. Going to be bummed when Pulsechain launches in a week or so. Yeah, the environment changes very quickly, right? When Pulsechain's out or leading up there, just depending on the way Richard's going to do that. Obviously, we're expecting more of a surprise launch at this stage, but you just never know with Richard. And that is the play. So kind of cool. He may give us one tweet that signals the beginning of the end, as it were. So beginning of the start. Sorry. All right. So that's kind of the whale bot there. Have we got anything else? I think that's it. That's it for the whale bot. Kind of cool. Let's move on to Hedron. Hedron at the moment is at 2275, so it's also weekend off there as well. The RSI is down at 42. The buyers and sellers are fighting here. Remember, the buyers have been dominating all the way since the beginning of this year, 2023, but now they're in a tussle fighting each other on the DMI. It's drama on the Hedron. So that is pretty much it. Let's go look at the averages. Down 4.46%. So what's that? Twice more than X. We've got 31 buys, so 53% buys are winning, but the bigger sellers are in play. 63% of the sell volume, 165k over 97, and this is in the USD pair. So obviously there's the Hex pair as well, which is bigger. This one's got 656k liquidity. So that is Hedron. Let's jump over to ICOSA HSIs. We're gonna have to switch over to the Ethereum chain. How we doing for time? An hour and 8 minutes. We're doing great for time today. Man, it's been a lot of fun, isn't it? A lot of updates. It's been pretty cool. Surprise one there from the highest of stakes. 2,443 is the number of Hex HSIs in the pool. That's dropped by about 300 or 350 since yesterday. So that's a real big drop there. 2,443. Wow, that's crazy. We've got a massive 280. Oh, wow. 280 in 279 in the auction house. OMG, we haven't seen a day like that for a long time. We'll be coming to wave 3. Is this wave 3? Are we in wave 3? I guess we are. Wave 3. Man, it's good to be in that high Hedron and ICOSA ecosystem. This is going to be big APY rewards, a big burn. Man, good times all around. What else there? We've got all this sort of stuff here. 2.2 billion on this one. We've got 12 T-shares, 30 T-shares. So much up for grabs, folks. So check this out. If you are looking to pick up some deals, Hedron's cheaper. You've got all these T-shares up for grabs. Look at them all. Just keep going. Massive burn. So if you got your Wattses and your stake in your ICOSA and everything else, this is good times. Good times, rock and roll. The yield is pretty neat. Oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. OMG, huge, absolutely massive. Look at all these T-shares just up for grabs. Massive amount here. Look at heaps of them. Just keep going. 50 T-shares. Look at these. 50. I feel like I'm hanging out with the whale OG. Look at those 50 T-shares all over the place. Man, you should definitely, if you're looking to pick up some T-shares, this could be a bonanza for you to get into some of these. Man. Remember, they're all 555s, most of them. Most of them are 555s, if not all of them, and so forth. That's just page 2. Page 3. Now, you need Hedron to bid on this. You need app.ICOSA Pro if you're going to bid. Obviously, not financial advice. You must do your own due diligence. People have been picking up some pretty big deals on these. You can use look into Hedron, which is crypto sloth site, or hexmodel.com, which is the Dev Huey site for information. But pretty cool. Look at that, man. So many. Wow. They only got hundreds of millions on there at the moment of Hedron too. So It's going to be fantastic. Man, oh man, oh man. That's going to be interesting to see that play out. All right. That's a huge day. What a massive day that is. Now, in terms of watts of NFT burns, 5 watts of NFT burns in the last 24 hours, 1,331 endpoints, 21,275 watts is NFTs left. So it's even less NFTs, and there's going to be this big yield, big burning, big rewards. So if you got watts, no wonder people are not letting these things go. Beautiful Icosa divs coming. All right, so that is the Wattses. We're going to get into the Hex Daily Stats. We've got day 1,236 hot off the press. Before we do that, though, let's get into the chat there and catch up on any of your final comments. Why are you laughing about 5.4, says Brennan? Because it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny there. All right, that was it. That was the update. All right, let's get back into it. We got day 1,236, 21st of April. We got a snapshot at 6 cents here, down 5%. So we have had a lot of down days in the last 10 days, but hey, things can turn around very quickly with Pulsechain coming. It's going to be interesting to see that. All right, payout per T-shirt 6.48 is the payout today. Beautiful. So even with the price of Hex moving around or down in this case, of its 12.73 high after the 7.5x ramp up, you're getting a yield. You're getting a yield, and you're becoming part of a more exclusive club, even with growth. So it's pretty cool. Highest stakes is coming too. So, going to get more people coming into the Hex system. Could be quite dramatic. Increase in T-shares up 9.4 to 29,985. T-share price is 1,623 is the price there. The average mining length is 6.9 years. So Hexkins around with each other for a long time. APY rate there is 38.27%. Liquidity pool is down from 132 million yesterday to 127 million. Obviously, got LP providers moving around too. And the LP in the pool there is just down slightly, about 150K. ETH is down only about 15 ETH there. So what else we got going? The T-share pool. We are still over 10 million. It's a stubborn beast, but that's cool. More the merrier, right? We want people staking their T-shares. That's pretty much it. 5,676 is the increase. Pretty cool. What else are we going to look at here? The holders, the locked coins, 9.56% of all Hex is locked at the moment. 839,000 in penalties today, and that's actually a high day recently because we've had pretty low people getting penalized for about 15 days or so. So that's kind of good news. People keeping to their responsibilities. So we've got 65 million is the payout, plus we get 50% of the penalties. 50% goes to the RA account, and of course that lowers inflation, which is kind of cool. What else? The growth in the numbers. We're up 130 on Etherscan. So our liquid holders are at 331,505. Our miners have gone up by 11 today, and we're up 120,669. Holders there up 253 to 553,669. We're getting close, folks. We're getting close. Will we get a snapshot at 555, 555? That is the question. It's coming up ahead of us. Slowly and surely, maybe in a week's time? I don't know. It's coming up. We will be watching that. That's day 1,236. We're on day 1,237. And our minimum payout is around about 6.44 Hex per T-share. Get those T-shares, hex.com. And of course, there's also the Hex auctions, the Hedron auctions there as well. Nice. All right. So that is where we're at the moment. We've got Hex at 6 cents, just over 6 cents is holding. It's holding the line. It's got quite a bit of support between. It's got technical support at 5.6 to 5.8, which is where it bounced off from. It has buying support, liquid support at 5.4. So it does. If that holds, that there's a bit of resistance there. And of course, Pulsechain could launch anytime. No warnings. V5. There's no V5. V4 is it. Test. Can become a validator. And of course, no more warnings. When's the block height going to be chosen? We will see. And it looks like they will. Looks like they are going to take the path at this stage. Implied, of course, my speculation that Shapilia will, having pulse withdrawals will be upgraded later on, which is really confidence from the team there. I like that. So that's kind of where we are at this stage. We'll see whether that is eventuates to be true, that last statement, but that does appear to be the case at this stage, as opposed to forking the Shapilia. We will see. Maybe they will do it when they go to mainnet. Maybe they're going to do it. I don't know. We will see. It's a wild card. My speculation on that last point. Just want to be clear on that. What else? I think that's it. So yeah, pretty cool. We're up to now 15 minutes, which is perfect. that is a normal time of the live stream that I try to target. Hope you guys have enjoyed yourself today. Dollar cost average, opportunity to pick up more volume in Hex. Seems like a no-brainer. Obviously not financial advice, but yeah, it's going to be pretty fun in the road ahead for people that keep in the know. So hopefully a lot of the information we found on this channel has been pretty good, because you know, you're aware of these things. A lot of the market's still not aware of a lot of these things that we've been talking about, because they're off buying Bitcoin or something like that. Superman sniping my limit orders, 5.4 cents. That's funny, Brennan. So you're there with the big supply. You're sitting in there. You need to maybe go to 5.5, Brennan, and then you can front run all that liquidity. Check my pulse says, woohoo! Hey, good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a good weekend. Rock on, and you know, never fear. Pulsechain is coming near. That's all we can say. Pulsechain is coming near. Well, let's play out some cool stuff here on that one. We're going to play out a few little videos. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's play a little bit from the highest of stakes music we saw. RG3 say, man, the music has really lifted the whole movie, because music is very powerful in movies, as you guys know. Let's play a little bit of that, and then I'm going to play a few other short videos. Hope you guys enjoy it. Take care. Enjoy yourself. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Discord is free. Get into our Discord. The best. I've heard things saying it's the best Discord for Hex Pulsechain. Get in there and get involved, because the community is what makes it the best. But we have all the links as well to everything, so get in there on that too. All right. Bye for now. Take care. Peace out.
54. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is already better.
$3,000 Valentino Rockstud purse, my $3,000 Prada jacket, $2,000 Prada shirt, $2,000 or $3,000 Prada pants, Prada glasses, Prada hat, Prada bracelet, and it's all Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off. Prada, 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 Prada shirt, Prada hat, Prada glasses, Prada pants, and it's all nylon, so the haters' tears fall right off.
Lil Bubble, let me ride that rocket.
$4,000 gains, 4,000 X gains was a lot in 600 days. Soon it's going to be past 10,000. And I remember when I made the Hex website and I said, you know, this was designed to do a 10,000 X return in a year and a half or 2.5 years. Everyone said it was a scam. It was impossible. How dare you design something with the intention of becoming valuable? Well, that's what business is. By design, business is the creation of value for shareholders. So every business is trying to create and accrue value. And I'm honest and open about it. And I said, I want to design the highest appreciating asset that's ever existed. And then we did it, and it's working. And I think we'll be past 10,000X very soon. And then will I hear apologies from all those people that said evil things about me? Let me tell you the difference between me and everyone else in cryptocurrency. I'm a self-help author that gives away free books to try and make your life better. I give away free videos with the ads turned off on YouTube. They're not allowed to show ads on my videos. Who else is doing that in cryptocurrency? I tell you to stop drinking, stop trading, you know, call your mom. I tell you to live a good, wholesome life. And who else in crypto is doing that? Everyone else in crypto wants to see you get wrecked margin trading. That's the only revenue they have. So, you know, it's a self-help author doing everything for free, giving you free coins, free books, free videos, free advice, living the dream. Just raised raised $27 million for charity. Has anyone else in cryptocurrency raised $27 million charity that wasn't me? No, it's just me. I'm the best person in cryptocurrency. And I'm working my way up to maybe be the best in the world, but it's going to take a while. There's a lot of people out there. Light the candles. I'll light these candles at $1 on Hex. That's the next time I'm lighting. Yeah. To launch even without, like, launching and giving everyone the world's largest airdrop is extremely important. If we can have bridges up before then, great. If we can have the liquidity providing Uniswap fork before then, great. But if not, we just launch anyway and add the stuff later. So you can launch Pulsechain before the bridges, add bridges later, and you can add liquidity incentivization later as well. And there's other, I mean, yeah, it's not a blocking problem. Like, it's not a big deal.
Well, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. And occasionally I think back to that twerk, Richard Hart bringing his game. Well, I didn't make the sacrifice 'cause I came too late, but day one I'm still making it rain. Oh, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. Won't be long before I'm going to bed wearing a Rolex. There's so much to love about it, I can't pick my favorite. It's almost better than sex. Well, oh, I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. Might as well start with 5555, a financial suplex. Generational wealth is just a click away. It's a Nobel Prize worthy flex. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. A financial suplex, a Nobel Prize worthy flex. You better stake your Hex.